All French soldiers and military must leave the African continent, and this also should apply to neo-colonial military bases, including the African Command Center of the USA. We don't want the army of America. We don't want the army of France here. We don't want the army of anyone. We want African army on African soil.
Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm your host Larry, and today I want us to listen, or rather have a look at this video of one of our African politician, and to be specifically, he's from South Africa and his name is Julius Malema. Now Julius Malema, he's sending out a warning, or rather a message, to the Prime Minister of Jamaica and to all the African leaders, so that they can come together and call off the foreign military bases that are based in Africa and in Jamaica. Let's have a look at this video, guys, and then I'll be back with more comments. To my returning subscribers, I want you to feel much welcome, and to my new subscribers, remember to like, comment and share.
All French soldiers and military must leave the African continent, and this also should apply to neo-colonial military bases, including the African Command Center of the USA. We don't want the army of America. We don't want the army of France here. We don't want the army of anyone. We want African army on African soil.
People are not making the connections between the economic and political system in the United States and what's happening in Jamaica. Because you watch a video like that and think that it only applies to Jamaica is ridiculous to me. That means you're not paying attention. You're not making the connection between what's happening in France and what's happening in Haiti. Y'all are not making the connections between what's happening in the UK and Canada and what's happening in many countries in the global south. People are not even making connections between what's happening in their countries with their police force, with their military, with their governments, with their political system, and what's happening in Palestine. And by the time many of you wake up and realize that it is all connected, it's gonna be too late for many of you, because by that time you would have already been recolonized.
One person I respect so much. He says the truth. He says things the way they are. He is fearless, and I think it is high time the African youth rally behind him to see that Africa is united, because this issue he is raising here is very pertinent. I don't understand why at this time and age we still have American military bases all over Africa. I don't understand why we still have French military bases all over Africa. It is for what exactly? What is the purpose of their military bases in Africa? Is it for their own protection or for our own protection? Because I don't understand. Anyways, as you can see, there's a wind of change happening around Africa. You see all these young leaders that are coming to power. Things are going to change. It might not be easy, but I strongly believe it is going to change. The youth of Africa, this is the time. This is the time for us to stand up and say no to everything the West is doing to us. We can't allow this to continue to happen. Even if we are not doing it for ourselves, let's do it for the generation behind us.
We insult Africans when we say that we were easy to colonize, because we were called the white man's grave at some point. You know, our ancestors fought 120 years of Xhosa frontier wars just so that white people couldn't get the Cape of South Africa. Then we even had the Battle of Isandlwane. The Tuaregs, the Amazigh people fought. Then the Tanzanians fought. We have, you know, Fulani people, Hausa people, Edo people, Igbo people, Yoruba people that fought on the western part of the continent. People fought for hundreds of years, so much so that they couldn't recognize their identities beyond the fight against colonialism. Then when people were like, you know what, these white people are really here to stay. When Quinine came, it changed the game. That's why Congo was actually one of the last places to be colonized, because white people would just be so disease-ridden that they would die even before conquering the land. Like nature and our spirits, they protected our continent for as long as they could. And people just gave up because it was tiring.
Start preparing for the war of high intensity. I hope I make myself understood. It's not just terrorism, Open your eyes. It's much more than that. It's a war of decolonization. And you must have heard these last days some other generals who made us understand that if they fail to come with their armies to recolonize us, they have to come. Well, prepare for the war of high intensity. Either they will come themselves, or they will go through their local valets who are here to try to disturb our peace. So whoever, I say whoever, whether it's terrorism or any other army that must come to disturb our peace, we must prepare to welcome them in the long term and intensely. That's why I tell you, prepare for the war of high intensity. And we will follow these trainings. We will move on to other groups to intensify the operations and try to pacify. These are the steps. And this terrorism will be defeated because they know that it will be defeated, that they are preparing either at the local level here or to come with their armies to fight us. Well, we will prepare to welcome them.
So guys, welcome back once again to my channel. So I hope we've all watched the video, and just to begin, Julius Malema is a South African politician who is well known for fighting for the rights of the blacks. So in this video, we can clearly hear Julius Malema call out to all the African leaders and to the PM of Jamaica to call off and get rid of the foreign military bases based in our countries. So for one, why are these military bases really brought here in our countries? Why are they still in Africa? Why are they still in Jamaica? And we all know it's not that for the safeguarding of our country. In the past days, we've had incidences of cases of insecurities, killings, shootings going around. Why haven't they been doing anything about that? So these military bases, that's the UK, the USA, and the French militaries, they're here in exploitation of our resources. They are protecting what's ours, not for our own benefits, but for their own benefits. And that's why you've heard one of the ladies say, if we're not careful, we might have another recolonization again. So, to the PM of Jamaica and to my African leaders, I am fully in support of Julius Malema. We don't need these foreign militaries in our country. We don't. So for instance, look at Ibrahim Traore, the president of Burkina Faso. What is he doing? The president of Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traore, is doing a really, really great job. And you can see now he's being targeted by the colonizers. Why? Because he has said no to foreign militaries in his country. He is having this movement to get rid of the colonizers in the country, and he is urging African leaders to do the same. We've heard, or rather we've saw in my previous video, that Ibrahim Traore said no to exportation of gold from Africa to the foreign, or rather to the European countries. Those treasures that are meant for our countries, Africa, Jamaica, they're meant for us. Ibrahim Traore said that he will use his country's resources to make sure that he stabilizes his country. He improves the country's infrastructure. He makes that his people are well taken care of before these goods can be exported to any other European country. A very good example of a leader, that is. Taking care of your own people, because your own people matters more than any other person. Our leaders, and most of our African leaders, and this message goes to the PM of Jamaica too. Our leaders are so greedy to a point that they are selling us out. They are selling our own treasures. They are selling our country's resources to the foreigners, to the colonizers. Our African leaders, they're so greedy to a point that they want to become, or rather they are the puppets of these colonizers. They are being controlled by these colonizers. And why are you letting these colonizers like control you in everything you do? Just because of a few dollars, you're selling out your people. Just because of a few dollars, you're selling out the resources of your own country. Why? Use those resources to improve the infrastructure of your country. The schools, the medical facilities, the health centers. Let's pick up and get rid of these colonizers. Our own countries are stable enough to take care of our own, or rather ourselves. We have the resources, we have the treasures. Why are we exporting it? And that after exporting it, we get charged more than we should if we need something. So I hope this message goes to all the leaders of Africa and to Jamaican PM Andrew Holness. So guys, I'm your host Larry. Until we meet again, peace out.